you, Dr. Madhav Chitare, for that mantra. We have water, environment, habitat, and biodiversity. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we now turn to one of the nation's most senior politicians who hails from Andhra Pradesh. He picked up a broom to clean the cyclone-hit port city of Vishakhapatnam as a part of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. He is a prominent leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party and has also served as a national president of the party from 2002 to 2004. He is our most revered chief guest this morning, the Union Minister of Urban Development, Housing, Urban Poverty Alleviation and Parliamentary Affairs. Please put your hands together in a loud applause for the chief guest this morning.
श्री माधव चितारे जी, पद्म भूषण श्री रामदोरे जी, प्रोफेसर उदय सोलंकी जी, श्री अरुण नंदा जी, श्री विवेकानंद पाल जी, प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर सुहास पेडनेकर जी, various dignitaries who are sitting here in front of me, brothers and sisters. In fact, after hearing Dr. Ramadore and then followed by Sri Madhav Tare, I thought there is no need for me to speak. They have really made a very thought-provoking, enlightened presentation on the concept of smart cities, both keeping in the modern trends as well as ancient knowledge and heritage and culture. Friends, having come as a chief guest, I have to say something. I try to do it. We are all politicians also must learn. Today I became very rich after coming here. Rich in the sense of knowledge. Everybody should learn, not yearn. The smart city concept, which was initiated by our Honorable Prime Minister, he has a vision. This urbanization is a reality, whether you like it or not. You can't reverse it. Though I have my heart in village, I now, even I have migrated from rural development to urban development. I was rural development minister earlier. It is irreversible now. And it's happening in a much speedier pace in the coming days because education, employment, entertainment, enhanced medical facilities, economic opportunities, all these five E's are mostly situated in urban areas. That's why people are coming to urban areas, not that they don't like their villages. In the beginning of the first 5-year plan or independence, Mahatma Gandhi gave two advices. One is he said back to villages. But our leaders have shown their back to villages and moved towards towns. Even now we are doing the same. Second advice, of course, I don't want to dwell on that. It's a political thing. He said disband Congress. I don't want to dwell on that. Congress was a political nationalist platform to fight for the freedom of the country. Once it is achieved, he said disband it and then have your own parties. I don't want to dwell on that. It's for the people to decide. Friends, today, the Vigyan Bharati really need to be complimented. They have chosen a very appropriate theme for the two-day conference. Most of the conferences are the interactions I have been to in various places of smart cities. I have assured myself had very general themes for discussion. But today, this theme of this conference, Smart Cities Delivery of Civic Services, seeks to raise a very pertinent question, that being, in the end, how does a smart city benefit a citizen by way of delivery of services to him? Friends, the Prime Minister, as I told you in the beginning, is very keen to have a all-round development of this country. We have the great potentiality in our country. And we have a great youth force in the country, knowledge also. Thanks to all the initiatives taken by people like Ramadore and many people. If you go to Silicon Valley and all, you find 50% of those people working in the IT sector are from India. And you feel proud by seeing them. And they are spreading even to other parts of the world also. Because there is no dearth of knowledge. There is inherent strength in India. Our ancient civilization, our culture, our heritage, our forefathers, which they have given to us. We have knowledge in every sector, goldsmith, blacksmith, carpenter, weaver, taddy tapper, even a washerman. Everyone has got some inherent talent which is hidden. You have to only unleash, or you have to give them a little more skill upgradation so that they can excel. And we have such a human resource in our country which we can really supply to the entire world in the coming days. That is going to be our biggest strength. The Prime Minister, that's why I started this skill development scheme. The new minister has been created. Secondly, he also gave a program called as MISI DC. MISI DC is the name given by me, program is given by him. MISI DC means MI, Make in India. SI, Skill India. CI, Clean India. DI, Digital India. MISI DC, MI, SI, CI, DI. That's a program he has given, covering all aspects. And he has also given a 3S mantra, skill, scale, and speed. The same bureaucracy, the same government employees, 58 years in India, banking was confined only to 42% of the population. But he said this financial untouchability must end. Initially, we did not understand what is financial untouchability. We heard about caste untouchability and political untouchability. Many people, we were all victims of political untouchability many of those days. He said, no, this should be ended. We all told him, sir, it will be done in 1 year, 5 years. He said, no, it should be done in 1 year. I said, how it is possible, sir? 58 years, it could not be done. Then 5 years we can do it. How can we do it in 1 year? He said, yes, it can be done. And at the end of the day, this small program called as Jana Dhana Yojana, financial inclusion, within 120 days, 15 crore people have opened the bank accounts. It is not Narendra Modi who has gone and opened the account, or Venkaiah Naidu or anybody. Same bank employees. The question is of the leadership, the persuasion, the direction. So even if you want to make this skill, this city, smart cities developed, you need to have smart leadership. Smart do not mean height, weight, tight, boat, coat, suit. I am not talking of that. Vision, action, and capacity to take bold decisions, and also to continue reforms and lead the people. You need smart leadership. You have leaders at various levels now to say, "Bhai, हमारा time 5 साल हो गया, 5 साल होने दो, बाद में देखेंगे, जो होगा होगा." We should not increase taxes because there will be anger among the people. If you increase tax, then they will axe. So don't tax. So without revenue, how can you do anything? So you need to have smart leadership. You need to have smart people. This is what I have understood in this 1 year of my period. Secondly, friends, the issue of changing the mindset of the people. देश में हमने 50 साल में सब लोग ने मिलकर ऐसा बनाया लोगों का मनस्थिति, सब काम सरकार करेगा, हम बेकार बैठे तो चलेगा. Everything will be done by government. We need not do anything. This is the duty of minister, MLA, MP, corporator, panchayat president. हमारा काम नहीं है. Even to remove something in front of your house also, you will be expecting when the corporator or the sarpanch is going to come. This mindset has to be changed. Otherwise, you will not be able to succeed in this. And today the situation, if you look at the situation in the urban areas, the situation is not happy. Except a few examples. The urban governance is in a very bad shape. The civic sense, we all were taught civics during our early days of schooling. We were taught civics, we were taught moral science, we were taught gardening, and now only science remains, morals have gone. That's why you have this Nirbhaya type of things happening in the country. See, you need to discuss these vital aspects. Revival of governance, revival rejuvenate the urban areas. There is potentiality. You have to guide them. The word civic means relating to a citizen, a city, citizenship, or city affairs. From this definition, civic services refer to a gamut of needs of daily life of a citizen. And in the next context of smart cities, they relate to the needs of those living in urban areas, which we intend to make smart through several interventions. We need to understand the needs of an urban resident so as to appreciate how a smart city can deliver them. By nature, life in urban areas is vastly different from that of rural areas. Urban life is basically running against time, as one has to do several things in the available time. It begins with sending children to school and colleges, going to office, preparing food at home, then going to shopping, marketing, meeting the needs of the entertainment, recreation and healthcare, paying bills of different kinds, interacting with the different service providers, socialization, etc. All this involves extensive travel. The other dimension of urban areas being that they are seen as islands of opportunities, and so a city should be able to meet these expectations. Expectations are very high. With more and more people coming to live in urban areas, the resultant gap in demand and supply of infrastructure, several problems and challenges arise. These include increased use of personal transport, emergence of slums, poor sanitation, inadequate housing stock, contamination of life-sustaining air and water, etc., which in turn adversely impact the daily life of an urban resident. The focus has to be more on public transport rather than individual transport. You have Delhi, we have the story of 90 lakh vehicles in one city alone, making life miserable. And that's why whenever I travel to Delhi, I have to travel to Delhi on regular basis, so I travel by metro train. 17 minutes I reach my destination. I have no congestion, no pollution, no tension, only attention. I can read my file also while going to the city. So we have to focus more on public transport rather than private transport. And also proper planning for the urban areas. Citizens are required to travel long distance from home to work and other places because of lack of planning. Land and housing costs are getting beyond the reach of common man. Poor are getting more and more deprived of the benefits of urbanization. This is another challenge before us. Another major problem is given the weak urban governance structures, transparency and accountability are the major casualties and the common man is the loser by this. So you need to emphasize on transparency, paradarshikata, and then accountability, jawabdari. These are two things that has to be built in the new concept. Given the many demands on the time of urban resident, as many services as possible, like payment for various utilities like water, electricity, registration of all kinds, grievances, redressal, etc., should be enabled online. That will take care of corruption. This is what we are intending to do it. Clearances through online. Given the severe scarcity of water, electricity, their supply and use should be efficient through adoption of smart solution. They have to be metered. Unfortunately, we are all used to free. Political parties are competing with each other with the freebies, temporary, giving chocolates to the children, making them happy, trophies. We are also giving now even mixies, grinders, TVs. Even some people have gone to the extent of giving thali, Mangal Sutra also. Mangal Sutra, to my knowledge, since my days, I have been seeing they have to be given the other side. But government is giving Mangal Sutra also. Forgetting the basic duty of water, sanitation, electricity, transport, education, health, they are the basic parameters of a government and governance. But unfortunately, this sort of a thing. Now, free power. Free power means, according to me, free power means first low power, then no power. No power is free power only. See, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he was Chief Minister, there was no free power in Gujarat. He went on increasing fares also. But people were happily paying it because there was assured power, 24/7. Power supply is available. Now slowly it's catching up. Other states also are trying to follow. After 68 years of independence, if you still you keep some areas in dark, or if you have 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours power cut, then you are not civilized at all. You are not a civilized government. So we have to focus on that also, change the mindset. If you act tough and then you go for reforms in a big way, then you will not be there. That's another problem. You have to be there to reform. By performing and reforming, then you have to continue to sustain. So you have to, some people are now restive. The Prime Minister has promised this, that and all, this has not happened, this has not happened. If that is but easy, only with everything to happen within 1 year. 1 year you can produce children. They will take some time. They will take some time to walk also, then to talk also, then to run also. The government have already started walking and also running also in some cases, as I told you. I don't want to go into that area, what are this thing and all. But people must have some patience. Patience and see the direction in which the government is going and the leader is going. Modi Modi means, according to me, MODI, is making of a developed India. That is Modi. That is his aim. So he is very focused. He is very focused. He is very clear, and he works hard. And some people are saying, "Bhai, to sota nahi, kisi ko sone deta nahi." उतना है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. दूसरा भी कमेंट है, कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं कभी कहा है वो तो खाता नहीं, किसी को खाने देता नहीं. खाने माने वो नहीं, ये मैगी की नहीं, वो दूसरा बैगी मैगी नहीं, बैगी. तो वो खाता नहीं, किसी को खाने देता नहीं.